Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news. When we talk about the Chicago Bears heading into this upcoming NFL season, it's impossible not to focus on one of the most glaring issues that has been haunting the team for a while now: the pass rush. And I mean, it's almost surprising when you look at the roster and see that the Bears don't have a truly dominant edge rusher who can consistently terrorize quarterbacks week in and week out. This isn't just a minor flaw. For a team that's been trying to rebuild its defense and climb back into playoff contention, it's arguably the biggest gap in their roster right now. And with the season just around the corner, only 8 days away from their opener, the urgency to address this weakness is mounting like never before. The Bears are in a tricky spot. They've got some talented defensive linemen, but when it comes to that one game-changing pass rusher, they're kind of lacking a clear, proven star. Now, they do have options in free agency, but they're limited. The best available names right now are Za'Darius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney. Both bring experience, both have their moments, but neither is a long-term solution, especially considering their age and the typical short-term contracts they tend to sign. Smith and Clowney are both well into their 30s, and historically, players of that age tend to sign contracts that are only 1 or 2 years max, mainly because teams don't want to commit long-term to players whose best days might be behind them. That's the reality of NFL roster building these days: short-term, high-impact players who can come in and make an immediate difference. And here's the thing: the Bears need to act fast. Their season opener is practically knocking on the door, and they need a reliable pass rusher to bolster that defense. It's not just about filling a roster spot, it's about changing the entire dynamic of their front seven, creating pressure, forcing turnovers, and making life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. It's a crucial piece in their quest to be competitive in the NFC North, a division that's been getting more competitive each year with teams like the Green Bay Packers making bold moves, including that blockbuster trade for Micah Parsons, which has sent shockwaves through the division. But let's talk about options that could really shake things up, especially in the long term. One player who could be a game-changer for the Bears is Trey Hendrickson. Now, Hendrickson is currently with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's been a force over the last 2 seasons, racking up 5 sacks in each of those years and applying relentless pressure, 89 quarterback pressures over that span, which is pretty impressive considering the Bengals' overall defensive setup. The interesting part: Hendrickson is scheduled to hit free agency next spring, and his contract situation makes him a very intriguing target for the Bears. The Bengals had a bit of a contract dispute with Hendrickson during the offseason, but they managed to settle it without an extension, instead renegotiating his deal to a value of $29 million in 2025, with an implied promise of free agency next spring. Now, this is a key point because it means Hendrickson is likely to be highly sought after. Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report recently ranked him as the number 3 free agent of the 2026 class, projecting that he could land a 3-year deal worth around $100 million. That's a lot of money, but considering his production, it's well-deserved. Think about it. Hendrickson has been a 4-time Pro Bowler and earned first-team All-Pro honors in 2024. He finished second in Defensive Player of the Year voting last season. That's not just stats, that's recognition from the league. And his production hasn't come with a top-tier supporting cast in Cincinnati, which makes his numbers even more impressive. He's the kind of player who can change the complexion of a defense, the kind of player who can be a cornerstone piece for the Bears if they decide to go all in. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Hendrickson is over 30, and teams are often wary of investing heavily in players at that age, especially for long-term deals. But he's still 2 years younger than some of the other big names in the pass-rushing game, like Za'Darius Smith or Jadeveon Clowney. And unlike them, Hendrickson's recent performance suggests he's still got plenty left in the tank. His 4 consecutive Pro Bowl selections and that All-Pro honor in 2024 clearly show he's still among the elite at his position. The trend in recent NFL contracts shows that teams are willing to pay top dollar for pass rushers close to 30 if they're still producing at a high level. We saw the Browns give Myles Garrett a 4-year extension worth over $40 million per year, and the Steelers handed T.J. Watt a deal that's similar. Green Bay also extended Micah Parsons, who is younger but has shown extraordinary talent. Hendrickson's projected contract, around $3 million annually over 3 years, fits into this pattern. So, if he maintains his level of play in 2025, the Bears could very well see him as a perfect fit to help turn their defense into a real threat. But it's not just about adding a good player, it's about making a bold statement. The Bears need to show they're serious about competing now and not just in a couple of years. If they can land Hendrickson, they're not just plugging a hole, they're sending a message to the division that they're ready to contend. Imagine Hendrickson lining up on the edge with Robert Quinn or another emerging talent, creating pressure, forcing turnovers, and helping the Bears climb back into the upper echelon of NFC teams. That kind of impact could be exactly what they need to take that next step, especially with a talented young quarterback or a solid veteran leading the charge. Of course, there are risks. Hendrickson will be a year older next spring, and there's always the chance that injuries or a decline in performance could happen. But if he stays healthy and continues to produce at the level he's shown recently, the Bears might find that the investment is worth it. It's all about weighing the risk versus the reward and making smart decisions that align with their long-term vision. This upcoming season will be crucial for the Bears, not just in their win-loss record, but in setting the foundation for future success. If they can get that edge rusher, whether through a signing or perhaps even taking a chance on a player in the draft, they could dramatically alter their trajectory. It's about filling that void, that missing piece that can elevate the entire defense and give their young quarterback or veteran leader the support they need to succeed. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league where one player can change everything. A dominant pass rusher can turn a good defense into a great one, and for the Bears, that could mean the difference between a few more wins and finally breaking through into real playoff contention. The division is competitive, and with teams like Green Bay making bold moves, the Bears need to be just as aggressive if they want to stay in the hunt. So, as we look towards the offseason and the upcoming season, keep an eye on Hendrickson and other potential additions. The Bears are in a position where they need to be bold, they need to make strategic moves, and they need to identify those players who can truly change the course of their franchise. Whether it's a veteran like Hendrickson or a younger breakout star, the goal is clear. Build a defense that strikes fear into opponents and creates opportunities for their offense to thrive. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Chicago Bears news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let us continue with the big reveal. Now, I want to hear from you, Bears fans. What do you think about the possibility of landing Trey Hendrickson? Do you believe he's the missing piece that can push this defense over the edge? Or do you think the team should prioritize other positions in free agency or the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters to us and to the future of the Chicago Bears. This team has a rich history, and every move they make is part of shaping that story. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more inside info, and all the latest news you need to stay ahead of the game. So stay tuned, keep supporting the Bears, and let's keep this passionate community growing. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.